Everybody wants spectacular success. And I don't have to look at everybody. I know that to me that would be spectacular ending of my life. Go to Japan and die there and be buried there. And to finish well, people will say, wow, she did it. And then human ambition, tempted to be popular. That was within me, the core of my heart. God just pointed out to me that you need to get rid of that.
KJ was born on November 26, 1940 in Nagoya. Her father named her a child of light, Kwangja in Korean and Mitsuko in Japanese. 4 years prior, KJ's mother met Kim Sun-ho, a female missionary, during an evangelistic outreach event. It was there that she learned of God's heart for missions and prayed, "If you give me a daughter, I will raise her up as a missionary to work for you." KJ's mother's prayer of dedication was followed by what she remembers to be a long series of God's interventions in her life. We have all heard this explained as God's amazing grace plus absolutely nothing. Although her family couldn't afford to send her to college, KJ somehow managed to attend and graduate from the Presbyterian Seminary in Seoul, then on to the U.S. for Bible college and graduate school. Divine appointments seemed to be arranged to pull all the resources together at the right time. The military coup had just installed a new president, and travel out of the country was very difficult. During this time, somehow a U.S. Air Force colonel and his wife got connected to KJ, heard her story, and was moved to use their network to get an expedited passport issued to her to travel to the U.S. That and some scripture scribbled onto a card, Philippians 4:13 for her upcoming studies, and Philippians 4:19 for her financial needs, were all that she needed. In 1968, KJ finally went into the mission field and headed for the Amazon in Brazil. During this time, KJ and some of her friends met Reverend Kaeyoung Kim, then a pastor of a Korean Presbyterian church in Sao Paulo. In 1975, KJ finished her term of missionary service and moved back to the States to attend graduate school in Southern California. Shortly after arriving, she received a call by Reverend Kim to join his staff as Director of Christian Education at Yongnak. Out of obedience, she accepted the challenge of helping guide and train the next generation, leaving a missionary service behind for now. We who have crossed paths with hers can tell stories of how we have been blessed by this dear saint, who lived life liberally with Jesus at the center. After her Yongnak days, she continued on in her missionary zeal by jumping into ministries with OCI to travel far and wide, to raise and train ministers of the gospel, and to encourage the church around the world to obey the Great Commission. At the age of 70, KJ would then return to Nagoya as a missionary once again. She considered this as her last assignment from the Lord, to share the gospel to the Japanese people. She engaged daily in personal evangelism, greeting everyone in Jesus' name. In 2012, she returned to the States to care for her aging mother. KJ's mother passed away in 2016, reaching beyond 101 years of age. Shortly thereafter, she was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. Even in her last months, and even the last weeks when she was bedridden, KJ continued to receive visitors to share God's words from her heart, singing hymns of praise and encouraging all who came with humor and humility. That is the KJ we remember.
One night, tears were going down my ears, and Lord spoke to me. He said, "You're not committed to 정교사 Amazon. You're not committed to agency, mission agency. You're not committed to your team members." He said to me, "You're committed to me. Your life is committed to me, to follow me." That settled me. highlight of my life too. Everything is my highlight. Jungles of Amazon was my highlight, and after Yongnak was a highlight, and before Yongnak, everything was highlight. Same life. The Lord gave me a beautiful life. No regret, no reserve.